Ronnie O'Sullivan has made a definitive statement about his future in snooker, declaring he won't quit despite an ongoing battle with form and confidence ahead of the 2024 World Snooker Championship. The 49-year-old, a 7-time world champion, faces one of the most challenging phases of his career as he prepares for a potential 33rd consecutive appearance at the Crucible Theatre in Sheffield. O'Sullivan's difficulties began earlier this year during the Championship League in January, where he lost 4 of his 5 matches. His frustration reached a breaking point when he snapped his cue in anger, an act he now describes as regrettable. "It's unrepairable," he admitted. "I do regret it, really, because it was my cue. It's hard to find another one." Since then, he has withdrawn from multiple tournaments, including the Masters, the German Masters, the Welsh Open, and the World Grand Prix in Hong Kong. His absence has raised concerns among fans, particularly given his status as one of the sport's greatest players. In an interview with The Sun, O'Sullivan revealed the psychological toll his slump has taken. He described his condition as snooker depression, a term he uses to encapsulate the anxiety and lack of confidence that has plagued him. He said, "It got to the point where I was struggling with the game. I always call it snooker depression. Call it stage fright. It starts to affect you mentally. Listen, that's why I snapped my cue. I just couldn't take it anymore." His struggles extend beyond competitive play. He admitted to fearing even practice sessions, a startling admission for a player of his caliber. "I was getting to the point where I was scared to even go near a table, not even the match table, just a practice table, and that has been going on for a long time." Despite these challenges, O'Sullivan remains determined to continue playing. He insisted, "I'm not going to quit. I definitely won't quit." However, his participation in the World Championship is far from guaranteed. He has scheduled 3 crucial practice sessions on April 14th, 15th, and 16th to assess his readiness before making a final decision. He said, "I'll make a decision when I feel like I'm ready to make a decision. That will be it. I know I have nothing to prove, but I need to find the love for the game, to find that passion." His approach contrasts with earlier phases of his career, where he often played through rough patches. Now, he prioritizes enjoyment over results. "I'm not bothered about winning and losing. I never have been. I've always been more, where's my game at? If my game is all right, then cool. If it's terrible, I can leave it for 1, 2, 3, 4 months. But I can't live for 3-4 years of struggling." If O'Sullivan chooses to skip the tournament, it will mark the first time since his debut in 1992 that he misses the event. His absence would also impact the tournament structure, with world number 17 Gary Wilson moving into a seated position and receiving a bye if O'Sullivan withdraws after the qualification cutoff on April 16th. The Crucible has been a defining venue for O'Sullivan, where he has claimed 7 titles, the most recent in 2022. His potential withdrawal would leave a significant void in the competition, both for fans and the sport's broader narrative. O'Sullivan's recent struggles are not isolated to this season. He revealed that the past 4 years have been particularly difficult, with only brief glimpses of his best form. He confessed, "It's been a real struggle. I've tried to play my way through. I've had moments and glimpses where I thought, okay, this is okay. But on the whole, probably 3.5 years out of the last 4 have been pretty terrible for me, and that's kind of taken its toll." The mental fatigue has eroded his enthusiasm for the game. "I kinda got a bit tired. It ground me down to the point where I lost the love for the game. That's why in January, I snapped my cue, just in temper, in frustration. I don't really want to feel like that, so I've taken time out." Another complicating factor is O'Sullivan's ongoing search for a suitable replacement for the cue he destroyed. He has yet to find one that meets his standards. "What happened was just coming. I have done it before. And it's not the game. It's me, really," he said. "I have just been struggling for so long now, I just couldn't do it anymore. And I'm still struggling now, to be honest." O'Sullivan's openness about his challenges has resonated with fans, many of whom have expressed support for his decision to prioritize his well-being. After withdrawing from the Welsh Open, he apologized to disappointed supporters but reiterated that his health must come first. Now, with the World Championship looming, the snooker world waits to see whether the Rocket will return to the biggest stage in the sport, or step away, at least for this year. His final verdict will come after his practice sessions, with an announcement expected by April 17th or 18th. For now, O'Sullivan remains focused on resolving his issues. As he himself said, "I'm just gonna try and fix what I think is the problem before I come back to play serious snooker again." Whether that happens in time for Sheffield remains the sport's most pressing question. The snooker world watches with anticipation as Zhao Xintong, the Chinese prodigy once heralded by Ronnie O'Sullivan as a future legend, prepares for his competitive return. The 27-year-old has served a 20-month suspension for his involvement in snooker's 2023 match-fixing scandal that implicated 10 Chinese players. His comeback could begin as early as April's World Championship qualifiers.
One.
Zhao's fall from grace came at the worst possible moment. In December 2021, he captured the UK Championship title, defeating Luca Brecel 10-5 in the final. This victory propelled him to a career-high world number, 9th ranking in April 2022. 3 months later, he added the German Masters crown to his achievements, whitewashing Yan Bingtao 9-0 in a stunning display of dominance. Ronnie O'Sullivan's admiration for Zhao became evident after that German Masters triumph. O'Sullivan told this to reporters, "The last time I was this excited about a player was when I saw Stephen Hendry play when I was only about 9 years old. I remember watching Stephen play in some festival in Hastings and you knew he was special. And for me, Zhao is the only one since that made me think he could be something special."
Ronnie's done a little bit with him. When he's on it, shall we say, he's probably, besides him, the best ball striker I've seen. You know, they're so natural, you know, and...
He's banned right now, unfortunately, but
yeah,
he'll be back.
I think he's back. I think he's got to go to Q School. Is it this year or next year? I think it's this year, isn't it? I'm not sure, but...
O'Sullivan's praise didn't stop there. He added, "He is super good now, but could be an unplayable great if he were to brush up on certain things. And that is up to him. Does he want to be open to that and do the work? Because Zhao can be as good as he wants to be, he has got the game in his hands. As he develops, he will handle the pressure situations even better than now." The match-fixing scandal that derailed Zhao's career involved multiple Chinese players. While Zhao didn't personally fix any matches, he admitted to betting on a game he knew had been manipulated. This distinction proved crucial. While Yan Bingtao received a 7.5-year ban for direct involvement in match-fixing, Zhao's punishment was reduced to 20 months. During his suspension, Zhao maintained his dedication to the sport. "These 2 years have been very long for me. I've practiced every day," he told the BBC in November. "2 years ago, I made a little mistake. Now I've come back. I know how important snooker is to me, and now I just want to come back to the snooker table." Stephen Hendry has already identified Zhao as a potential threat in the upcoming World Championship. Speaking on the Snooker Club podcast, the 7-time world champion said, "Apparently he's in the top 5 with the betting for the whole thing. If he gets through, then it'll be really interesting to see how he does." Hendry emphasized the challenge Zhao presents. "There's a whole load you could say that you don't want in the first round of the World Championship. It's different from the late 80s and early 90s where you could forget the first 2 rounds because you'd breeze through it. But there will be 1 or 2 who will be good draws. Everyone else will be tough." The Scottish legend also echoed O'Sullivan's assessment of Zhao's potential. "There are only a handful of players in the game who really stand out when you watch them play and you think they've got that little stardust, that star quality. There's lots of great players who make lots of centuries, but they don't look like that. They don't have that little bit extra. Zhao Xintong, when he plays like that, has got that. He's got the X factor." Zhao's technical abilities have never been in question. His fluid cue action and natural break-building prowess drew comparisons to snooker's all-time greats during his rise. His 2021 UK Championship victory saw him become only the 4th non-British player to win the event after Ding Junhui, Neil Robertson, and Luca Brecel. The Chinese star's suspension period saw significant changes in the snooker landscape. The emergence of players like Luca Brecel as world champion and the continued dominance of O'Sullivan have reshaped the hierarchy Zhao must now re-enter. His ranking has plummeted during his absence, meaning he'll need to qualify for major tournaments through qualifying rounds. Zhao remains confident in his ability to compete at the highest level. He stated, "I knew I would come back, so I need to keep confident in myself. I believe that if I play well, then I can beat anybody. I'm just going to try my best." The World Snooker Tour has implemented stricter anti-corruption measures since the 2023 scandal. All players now undergo enhanced education programs about betting regulations and match-fixing risks. Zhao's return will be closely monitored as both a test case for rehabilitated players and a potential boost to the sport's popularity in China. His comeback coincides with increased interest in Asian snooker. The 2023 to 2024 season has seen Chinese players achieve notable successes, with Zhang Anda winning the International Championship and Ding Junhui returning to form. Zhao's presence could further strengthen this momentum. The practical challenges of Zhao's return shouldn't be underestimated. 20 months away from competitive play represents a significant gap in modern snooker. While he's maintained practice routines, match sharpness can only be regained through tournament play. The pressure of his first matches back will be intense, with media scrutiny inevitable. Bookmakers have already installed Zhao among the favorites for the World Championship, reflecting both his past achievements and the respect he commands from peers. This faith stems from his pre-ban performances, where he demonstrated an ability to compete with and defeat the world's best players.
Well, I mean, I wasn't happy when he equaled my 7. I mean,
Right.
you know, people asked me before, and I said, no, I don't want. Of course, I don't want him to equal my record. It was my record. When I was talking to Ronnie on the thing, I said, surely you must now. It's all about winning 8, right? Because when I won 6 to equal Steve, the next day I said I have to win 7. Ronnie being Ronnie, he deflected it a little bit and didn't want to admit, but I know he does. I know he wants to win 8. And then he will be the GOAT, obviously.
The snooker world faces an unprecedented question as the 2025 World Championship approaches. Will Ronnie O'Sullivan compete? The 7-time world champion hasn't been seen in tournament play since his dramatic exit from January's Championship League, where frustration led him to smash his cue. This incident marked the beginning of an extended absence that has seen him miss every major event since, including the Masters, where he was defending champion. Stephen Hendry, another 7-time Crucible king, remains convinced O'Sullivan will appear. "I've got a sneaky suspicion he is going to play." Hendry said this on the Snooker Club podcast. He went further, suggesting O'Sullivan could achieve the unthinkable. Ronnie just decides he's going to turn up at the Worlds and wins it. It would be an unbelievable story, and he's that good. Hendry's confidence stems from history. In 2013, O'Sullivan took a year-long sabbatical before returning to claim the world title. Hendry recalled their exchange at the time. He messaged me and said, "Do you think I can still come back and do it?" I said, "Of course you can. All you need is a month's solid practice." The Scot believes the same formula could work now, though acknowledges greater challenges. He was a much younger man, and there weren't the players around that are in such form. The current snooker landscape features multiple in-form contenders. Judd Trump has dominated the season, while Kieran Wilson defends his world title. Neil Robertson and John Higgins have rediscovered their best games, and Mark Selby remains a perennial threat. Hendry initially tipped Selby before considering O'Sullivan's potential. There's 6 or 7 easily you could count, and maybe more that are capable of winning it.
Who could stop the Rocket winning the 8th? 2 players that have beaten him this season, both in his half of the draw. Zhang Anda, who lost. Mark Williams beat him in the Tour Championship final, lost. He's got Judd Trump in the semi-final, possibly, if both make it through. Judd hasn't beaten him, I think, since 2020. Ronnie, after his press conference, was very, very sort of confident. He's going to keep playing, see what he can win. So yeah, big message thrown out to the likes of Trump, Mark Allen, Mark Selby, who also lost, by the way, shadow of his former self. Whether that was a veiled message, as with a few of them possible breakaways happening. We'll have to keep our eyes open for that. Listen, the big question, as always, who could stop the Rocket winning the 8th?
Bookmakers share Hendry's cautious optimism. Betfair lists O'Sullivan as 7-1 joint favorite alongside Trump and Wilson. Remarkable odds for a player who hasn't competed in months. The betting reflects both O'Sullivan's unparalleled talent and his proven ability to triumph after breaks. Equipment concerns linger. O'Sullivan destroyed his previous cue during January's meltdown, leaving questions about his current setup. Hendry said, "I don't know what his cue situation is because he smashed his last one." However, he maintained that with proper preparation, the tool matters less than the craftsman. If he had a month behind closed doors, practicing, putting the work in, getting himself sharp, then of course, he can. Parallel to the Crucible speculation, a rule change opens new possibilities for O'Sullivan and his class of 92 peers. From May 2025, professionals over 45 ranked in the top 64 can compete on the World Seniors Tour. This clears the way for O'Sullivan, Mark Williams, and John Higgins, all turning 50 this year, to potentially contest both the World Championship and World Seniors Championship in consecutive weeks at the Crucible.
Ronnie O'Sullivan and Mark Williams are really exceptional, weird people. Which one of the three of the class 92 are going to crack up first? They are so good, and they've been so good for so long that they've given us the opportunity to enjoy which one of them is going to crack up first. The reason why it could be John out of the three of them is that he's the most normal human being. Ronnie O'Sullivan and Mark Williams are really exceptional, weird people. John is less weird and more of a normal competitor style. But the other two are enigmas. You can't understand Ronnie O'Sullivan, you can't understand Mark Williams. How is he still winning?
It's unbelievable.
It's stupid.
Jason Francis, chairman of World Senior Snooker, confirmed, from next season, any pro player over 45 can accept an invitation or enter a qualifier for a TV seniors event. That is provided it is staged on a day of no World Snooker Tour event. He emphasized the opportunity. Seniors now has the chance to use the bigger names to stage more events with more players. That means more prize money and more opportunities for amateur players. Dare to dream. The trio boasts 14 world titles between them and all remain in the world's top 6. Their potential participation could revolutionize senior snooker, currently dominated by Igor Figueiredo and 4-time winner Jimmy White. Dennis Taylor, the 1985 world champion, joined Hendry in backing O'Sullivan's Crucible chances. Taylor told this to Betway, "It would be a hell of a thing to do, but the talent he has, you can't put it past him." He referenced O'Sullivan's 2013 comeback. "He proved it the last time when he came back and won it, so you can't count it out. It's difficult to pick, but if Ronnie plays, I'm still going to have him as favorite." Taylor's comments highlight the central paradox surrounding O'Sullivan. His lack of match practice would cripple most players, but his natural ability transcends conventional preparation. The timeline adds urgency. With O'Sullivan not qualifying for the upcoming Tour Championship, the Crucible represents his next possible appearance. His uninterrupted participation since 1993 makes withdrawal unthinkable for many fans. Hendry's sneaky suspicion suggests the streak will continue, but O'Sullivan's silence keeps everyone guessing. Financial incentives remain substantial. The World Championship winner earns £500,000, while the seniors event offers £15,000 to its champion. For O'Sullivan, however, the motivation has always been about legacy rather than money. An 8th world title would extend his record and further cement his status as snooker's greatest. The Q incident in January revealed O'Sullivan's ongoing frustration with perfectionism. His standards remain astronomically high, and any equipment issues could derail his preparation. Yet Hendry's comments suggest belief in O'Sullivan's ability to overcome this hurdle. Of course, he would be one of the top 2 or 3 favorites to win it. It would be incredible. Opponents face a psychological challenge. Trump, Wilson, and others have built momentum through the season, but O'Sullivan's aura alone changes dynamics. His mere presence at the Crucible would shift betting markets and tournament narratives instantly.
One he's drilled in this evening was exceptional. And there's another one. Oh, and what a shot he played there, by the way. Magnificent. And it was played here.
The snooker world witnessed an unexpected clash between 2 of Scotland's greatest players when 7-time world champion Stephen Hendry publicly criticized John Higgins's playing style during the 2024 Players' Championship in Telford. The tension began when Hendry, serving as an ITV pundit, didn't mince words about Higgins' performance against eventual tournament winner Judd Trump.
Played it beautifully. Deserves to be on a red. It was certainly a nice strike of the pack.
Had the disappointment. Well, how do you get that much check side on the ball?